Why, hello out there. I'm Myron Cook. One of the many things I enjoy about geology is as I hike around, I see things that other people that don't have geology skills don't even see or aren't able to enjoy. So it makes my hikes more enjoyable, I'd like to think anyway. And as you go along with me on videos, I hope that you'll gain the skills of reading the rocks and seeing things in a different way and enjoy the great outdoors even more.
Hey, Myron, I'm David Wayne. You know, one of the many things I enjoy about Meltology as I hike around, I see things that other people like you who don't have the Meltology skills, and I help them to see. So this makes my hikes more enjoyable, at least I like to think anyway. As you and others go along with me on my videos, I do hope you will gain the skills of reading the rocks and seeing things in a different way and enjoying the great outdoors even more, knowing that Meltology may be the real answer to a made-up geology.
Welcome to a video about the deforestation and reforestation of New England forests. Years ago, I started mountain biking in Gilbert Hills State Forest in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and I realized something. All of the biggest trees seem to be about the same size. All right around 60 inches in diameter around the base, which I thought was pretty strange. So I started doing some research, and I found out that at one point in our history, our forests were nearly completely gone, deforested. In this graphic, you can see between 1850 and 1900, about 70% of the forest disappeared, gone. Why?
The agricultural practices brought by English settlers, mainly husbandry, fundamentally changed New England's landscape. When these settlers arrived in New England, they brought with them their traditional farming system of raising both crops and livestock. To make this work in a completely new land, they needed fences and enclosures to protect their fields from roaming animals. Over time, English settlements moved inland from the coast. The first generations of settlers kept to the coast and community-oriented Puritan settlements. The shift away from community living toward a more self-reliant or self-sufficient and subsistence lifestyle set the stage for an explosion of smallholding farms across New England. Self-reliant farmers began settling the vast interior, which up until that point had been untamed. In the process, they cleared the forest to create treeless crop enclosures and open land for livestock. For the New England farmer, the conservation of timber was hardly a concern when survival was paramount. Driven by a growing demand for wool, farmers continued to clear forests at an astonishing rate to create pastures for a booming population of sheep.
Now, didn't that sound entertaining to you? Wouldn't it make more sense if this place was already deforested? And then, ever since then, we started getting the trees we have now. We know where the old growth trees are. They're in the old cemeteries, and you know them because they're 5 times bigger than all the trees we have around us now. The trees we have around us now, they just seem to be like weeds to me, like an intended forest, if you will, for all of New England. Wouldn't it make more sense that this was already deforested, and ever since the late 1800s, they've been planting trees and forests everywhere around here? I don't believe the story that the European settlers came in here and they needed land for the sheep, so they just started marching inward and just swallowing up 70 to 80% of all the trees for the sheep. I mean, let's face it, they've already blamed the horses and the donkeys for building all the buildings, so why not blame the sheep for all the deforestation, right? Come on, guys, we can't believe these stories. These are hoaxes we've been taught.
Now, a new buffalo business sprang up. Millions of buffalo skulls and bones were bleaching under the prairie sun, and it turned out there was money to be made from them too. Companies in the East offered an average of $8 a ton for bones they could grind into fertilizer or use in refining sugar. Buffalo horns were turned into buttons, combs, and knife handles. Hooves became glue. Homesteaders in Nebraska and Kansas, desperate for cash because drought was withering their crops, turned to harvesting the skulls and skeletons still littering the plains. One entrepreneur in Texas stacked mounds of bones along the tracks of the Fort Worth and Denver Railroad and made $25,000. Buffalo bones, a Kansas newspaper reported, are now legal tender in Dodge City. A company in St. Louis processed more than 1 million tons of bison bones. The Michigan Carbon Works became Detroit's largest industry. In the end, the bone trade would generate more profits for the bone pickers, the railroads, and the industries than the buffalo hides ever had.
Even what remained of them was being taken away from their native ground. It was like grave robbing in a way.
It just strikes me as a society trying to clean up a crime scene. This is the murder of buffalo, our brothers, and let's get rid of that. Let's hide it. Let's get not only the buffalo out, let's get the bones out too.
I find it amazing that the near extinction of the American bison coincides with the deforestation. These things occurred at the same time. This is what we're told. Of course I'm going to think a cataclysm happened here as well. The near extinction of the buffalo is a result of a cataclysm. Guys, they were paying people to go collect these bones across all the prairies. Otherwise, we'd be finding them now everywhere by the millions, suggesting that a cataclysm did happen. But these were all collected and destroyed. Something happened to Earth, and it happened around the same time to cause all these things. The buffalo near extinction, the deforestation, and geology is just all made up bullshit to keep us slaves in line. So, anyways, that's all I have for you today, guys. Please leave a comment if compelled to do so. Hey, like the video too. That's like the first time I've ever asked for a like. Anyway, thanks, guys. Take care.